Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Liverpool ace has been weirdly overlooked again, but Arne could be about to benefit. Curtis Jones may not be as much of a pressing machine as Dominik Szoboszlai or as dominant as Ryan Gravenberch, but the Liverpool ace will still be a vital component for Arne's slot in the coming months. And after he was snubbed once again for an international call-up ahead of the November break, it does feel very much like he is overlooked by many when it comes to his importance. For England, Jones started the first 3 games under Thomas Tuchel, scoring on his senior debut against Greece, and then came off the bench in the 4th. Since then, though, he hasn't been picked. When the latest 3 Lions squad dropped on Friday, his name was a notable absentee, despite Bournemouth's Alex Scott getting the call-up. As good a player as Scott is, and as well as the likes of Nottingham Forest's Elliot Anderson have been playing, Jones should be right up there in the conversation for being involved. Really, he should be in contention to start. Stars like Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham need to be fitted into the England midfield department. But someone like Jones, with his ability to keep possession and progress the ball, can be invaluable, especially in international soccer. It would be no huge shock if he was selected by Arne to play against Manchester City this weekend, for example. He was in the starting 11 at the Etihad Stadium last season and was excellent. For all that some get frustrated with his perceived dallying on the ball at times, that kind of controlling nature and composed play is particularly vital in the bigger fixtures. But as curious as Jones's England absence is, it is no bad thing for Liverpool that he will get some time off. Rather than playing at Wembley against Serbia or away in Albania, the Reds' number 17 will be afforded a rest. For his club, Jones will be vital across the course of the next couple of months, when the games will continue to come thick and fast. He is perfectly capable of filling in across any of the midfield roles. And as good as Szoboszlai, Alexis Mac Allister, and Ryan Gravenberch looked against Real Madrid, in particular, this week, they won't be able to play every minute. Whoever needs a rest, Jones will be a likely and more than capable deputy. Curtis, since I have been here, his playing time went up, and there is a reason, Slot said after he starred in the win at Eintracht Frankfurt recently. I like how he has progressed. England's loss could prove to be Liverpool's gain, but Tuchel's omission of the Reds Academy graduate is baffling. Liverpool transfer news as 63M ace considered and second raid after Marc Guéhi tipped. Liverpool returns to Premier League action this weekend with a trip to Manchester City, and it comes after back-to-back wins over Aston Villa and Real Madrid. Arne has needed some time to find the right balance at Anfield following a big summer of Liverpool transfers. But that hasn't stopped even more new players being tipped to arrive in 2026, when defensive reinforcements might be required for a couple of different reasons. Here is the Ainway verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. We start with a new name being put forward as a potential center-back option. Ousmane Diomande, Sporting CP. Crystal Palace considered 63 million 40 euros. 8 million rated Ousmane Diomande last summer, but he ended up staying with Sporting CP in 2026. He is said to be under consideration by Liverpool. While the Reds are in for other center-backs, including Marc Guéhi, Diomande has been on their radar before. He is very highly rated, and Dave Ockop says he is on the agenda again. Last month, the Daily Express suggested similar. Diomande is a left-footed center-back, and he doesn't turn 22 until December. Liverpool already has Giovanni Leone as a long-term option, but still needs Ibrahima Konate to pen new terms. Virgil van Dijk is getting older, and a long-term replacement will need to be sourced. Joe Gomez is third choice at the moment, but could have left in each of the previous 2 summers. Adam Wharton, Crystal Palace. Liverpool could sign Marc Guéhi next year with his contract set to expire in 2026, but the Reds have also been tipped to sign another Crystal Palace star in the not-too-distant future, too. When you're doing so well, there's always going to be clubs floating around, trying to buy your big stars. The former Wales international Joe Ledley, who played for the Selhurst Park side for 3 years, told Gambling.com, You can't really compete with that, but Adam Wharton is a fantastic player and central midfielder. I've watched him a few times, and he's a really creative player. Always on the front foot, always looking forward, finding those passes. Still young, too. He's represented England as well, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of clubs interested in him, whether it happens soon or in a year or two. You want to keep your best players at Crystal Palace, and he's definitely one of them. Time will tell. I think he's had a fantastic start to the season and the end of last season, so hopefully Palace will hand out a few new contracts soon. Liverpool would be a good move for him, in that midfield area with Alexis McAllister. Also, Arsenal. Those sort of teams, the ones that get on the ball and are possession-based, he would suit. So it wouldn't surprise me if those two were interested in January or at the end of the season. Liverpool news. Arne Slot makes Hugo Ekitike demand as Star's agent in exit talks. There's a renewed feel-good feeling around Liverpool, who head into their league clash with Manchester City with the utmost confidence. The Reds secured a 1-0 victory against Real Madrid in the Champions League on Tuesday to mark back-to-back victories across all competitions for the first time since September. On top of the positive result, it was yet another improved performance from Arne Slot's side, who appear to be on the right track after a run of 6 defeats in 7 games. The 2-0 win over Aston Villa, which preceded their European triumph, lifted the reigning league champions to 3rd in the table, but they remain 7 points behind league leaders Arsenal. With an improved morale surrounding Anfield, the Reds can finally look forward but face another stern test on Sunday as they travel to the Etihad Stadium to take on Pep Guardiola's side. Ahead of the clash involving the two clubs that have gone head-to-head for almost a decade, Hugo Ekitike has been challenged to improve by his manager, while Ibrahima Konaté's uncertain future once again hits the headlines as Mirror Football takes a look at the latest news surrounding the Merseyside. Giants' Hugo Ekitike weakness. The Frenchman has been one of Liverpool's best players since arriving at the club in a £79 million deal in July, with 6 goals to his name across all competitions. He is currently the Reds' top scorer. With his unique set of skills, including a near-perfect touch, his ability to link up with teammates, and excellent finishing ability, the 23-year-old looks set to be a major part of Liverpool's attacking force for years to come. While he's been subject to widespread praise from fans and media alike, Slot has admitted the striker must improve his winning rate in aerial duels given his 6'3" frame. Speaking in his pre-match press conference, the Dutchman said, "That is what makes him special. If you're that tall and your footwork is as good as his, that's what makes him special. If you're so tall, he needs to be stronger in duels." Ekitike hasn't been as prolific in the air as he has been with the ball at his feet. According to FotMob, in the 11 aerial duels he's challenged for in the Premier League, he's won just 37.9% of them. Ibrahima Konaté's uncertain future. After what was a poor start to the season for Ibrahima Konaté, the France international has recently showcased why the Reds are aiming to secure his future with his contract expiring next summer. In a similar situation to that of Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold last season, time is ticking for the champions to agree a new deal with the center-back. Given his status as one of Europe's best defenders, Konaté certainly isn't short of options, with Bayern Munich reportedly one of the parties interested in him. According to Bild, the German champions have identified the Frenchman to replace his compatriot, Dayot Upamecano, if they fail to retain the 27-year-old, whose contract also expires at the end of the season. And his agent is said to be in talks with not only them, but also PSG and Real Madrid. Liverpool fans can at least take solace in the comments of Bayern sporting director Christoph Freund, who stated the club are hopeful to re-sign Upamecano. "It's no secret that our main goal is to extend Upa's contract," he said on Friday. "There are probably a lot of clubs interested in him. He's one of the best center-backs in the world. Our aim is for him to stay with us for a long time. He feels very, very much at home here. We're in discussions, but there's nothing new to report." Rooney backtracks on Van Dijk verdict. The Manchester United legend made headlines for his criticism of Van Dijk, having taken aim at the Dutchman's leadership during their losing run. The 34-year-old made a point to confront Rooney on live TV for Amazon Prime following the Real Madrid victory. questioning the Englishman over his suggestions that he had become complacent following his new contract earlier this year. He told Rooney, "I think if you would watch games, then you'd see I would definitely take the responsibility. I think the comment that I signed my new deal and then it's like, that's it and let it slide. I think that was a bit." While Rooney insisted he was correct in stating Van Dijk's performances had been below par, he did understand why the defender was miffed by criticism. Speaking on his BBC Sport podcast, "I thought he was good that night. And I had loads of people say, oh, when he came up to you, but I think fair play to him for coming out. I think Van Dijk, his issue was, maybe I was a bit unfair on that because I don't know him as a person. I said he got his new contract and he looked like down to it a little bit. So maybe I was a little bit unfair on that comment, but from a performance point of view, I think I was speaking what I felt and what I was seeing, and I think I was right on them." Transfer rumors. News. Bayern eye move for Liverpool's Konate. Bayern Munich are holding talks with the agents of Liverpool centre-back Ibrahima Konate. Reports build, with the 26-year-old's contract at Anfield expiring in the summer. Bayern's contract talks with defender Dayot Upamecano have stalled, with the France international's deal expiring in the summer and interest being shown in him by the likes of Liverpool, Internazionale, Real Madrid, and Chelsea. Bayern are therefore looking for a replacement and have focused on Konate, but they aren't the only ones in discussions, as Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain are also keen. Tottenham Hotspur want to sign a winger as part of ambitious plans for the January and summer transfer windows, with Real Madrid's Rodrigo and Juventus's Kenan Yildiz among the players being considered, according to Team Talk. Spurs have been looking at Rodrigo for some time, but are likely to face competition from the likes of Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, while Arsenal and Chelsea are also reported to be admirers of Yildiz. Atalanta could look to offload forward Ademola Lookman in January, reports Calcio Mercato. Lookman, 28, was keen to leave in the summer but wasn't able to find a new club, and there was a recent disagreement between the Nigeria international and manager Ivan Juric after he was substituted against Marseille. Lookman has a contract that expires in 2027, and clubs aren't willing to pay the $50 million that La Dea demanded in the summer, while the Africa Cup of Nations in January could also be an obstacle to a potential deal. Tottenham manager Thomas Frank would be open to bringing Al Ahly striker Ivan Toney back to the Premier League in January, according to TalkSport. Toney, 29, has openly stated that he has enjoyed playing in the Saudi Pro League, but the former Brentford player aware that Premier League football could help him earn a place in England's squad for the 2026 World Cup. Al Ahly are reluctant to let Toney leave halfway through the season, and he would likely have to push for a move to happen. Barcelona plan to open formal talks with Manchester United about a permanent move for Marcus Rashford in the coming weeks, according to Team Talk. Barcelona boss Hansi Flick has encouraged the Blaugrana board to prioritize a long-term deal for Rashford, as he sees the 28-year-old as a vital part of their future. They have an option to make Rashford's loan move permanent for $30 million and will enter negotiations soon. Liverpool. Transfer news with Marc Guehi, promise, and 40 Malers Inter Milan, battle. After a tough spell at the start of the season, Liverpool might have turned a corner with back-to-back victories against Aston Villa and then Real Madrid. There is more work to do for Arne Slot's men, though, with Liverpool facing Manchester City next in the Premier League. Before that game kicks off, Arsenal could be 10 points ahead of the Reds if Mikel Arteta's side can beat in-form Sunderland. Here is Danwall. Verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds. Both players under the microscope today are centre-backs, who are likely to need work in 2026. Marc Guehi, Crystal Palace. Real Madrid sources have played down Los Blancos holding an interest in Crystal Palace centre-back Marc Guehi because they feel the England ace has given his word to Liverpool. According to the Daily Mail, the 25-year-old will be available as a free agent next summer and has attracted interest from elsewhere. Clubs outside of the Premier League, of course, can agree a pre-contract deal from January 1st, with Bayern Munich also having been linked. Guehi almost moved to Liverpool on deadline day in the summer, but when Oliver Glasner's side couldn't source a replacement, it pulled the plug on an exit despite an agreement having been reached. However, Glasner has already confirmed that Guehi will leave in 2026. An exit is possible in January, but a move on a free few months later would appear more likely at this stage. Liverpool is yet to agree a new contract with Ibrahima Konate, who started the season shakily, but was very impressive against Real Madrid this week. The Spanish giant has also been linked with a move for him, and he impressed against Kylian Mbappe at Anfield, helping keep his fellow countrymen under control throughout. Liverpool.com says, Guehi moving to Anfield next year feels like the most likely outcome. He would be a good addition, and a center-back is a must as a long-term successor to Virgil van Dijk. Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.